He's getting older.
That is totally absurd.
But not wiser.
Everybody has affinity for cock.
This is the Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today for episode number 52 on the 9th of July in the year of our spaghetti monster, 2014. Welcome one, welcome all to the Lefty Show. I hope to put on a good show for you today. Hope you all enjoyed listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also catch some gaming content and vloggity vlog stuff there. YouTube.com/LeftyOX. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to know about my musings on the Twitters. Head on over there to twitter.com/Lefty643. That's twitter.com/Lefty643 or just at Lefty643. Thank you all for sharing the show with your friends and family. We are a gigantic hit on iTunes. Not really gigantic, but I think pretty good. We'll get to that in a bit, but after the propers. Thank you to everybody for sharing the show with your friends, family, and coworkers. You help keep the show growing and afloat, which is much easier to do now that we've got an RSS feed. Just go to leftyshow.podbean.com and you can subscribe to the RSS feed manually there, and you will get updates on all the brand new shows that we get, and when I upload them, and then you can have them on your phone, and then you can have all the things and take the show with you wherever you go and say, hey, look at this show. And you can also search The Lefty Show. If you're on Android, you got a podcasting app, just type in The Lefty Show. You'll probably be able to find us. You'll for sure be able to find us if you head on over to the iTunes store and search The Lefty Show. You'll find us there, episodes almost daily, usually 4 or 5 a week, and go ahead and hit subscribe. You'll be able to download all of the episodes there for all of the funds. All the funsies are there for you. Thank you to everybody that's also been donating at imraising.com/643 Productions. You can go and donate there if you want to help out the show. Now, I said at the top of the show, we've been a huge hit on iTunes, or at least the RSS feed has been a huge hit. And of course, we're not Adam Carolla, Joe Rogan Experience, or anything like that, but I was tweeted an interesting picture yesterday. Apparently, The Lefty Show is in the top 100 comedy podcasts on iTunes. And I don't know if that's really, really good or just kind of good. I mean, the top 100, how many are there? I really encourage everybody to take, while I equally encourage everybody to take a business law class or any kind of law class you can get your hands on, business law, just any kind of contract law, anything, I equally encourage you to, if you are studying math in high school or college and you're just going down that track, if you're able to take a statistics course, please do, because when you see top 100 this, top 100 that, not many people do. And taking a stats course, even at the high school level, kind of changes your mode of thinking. You've got a different MO when you hear people or see people give you numbers. And so somebody says we're in the top 100 of podcasts, comedy podcasts on iTunes. I say, well, that's great, but if there's 150, if there's 101 podcasts or 120 comedy podcasts on iTunes, I'm like, oh, well, never mind then. But I don't know. Top 100, I'm assuming there's thousands upon thousands of podcasts on iTunes. Top 100 in the comedy field. I don't think anything to turn one's nose up at, because and the other thing about, comedy, somebody will probably question this show's classification as comedy. I didn't know where to put the damn thing. No idea where to classify it. And I don't think there's a gaming section, or at least gaming is completely dominated by Rooster Teeth. Entertainment, I don't know. So I selected comedy because I formulate this show in essence, if not form, after comedy podcasts that I listen to, and I think, oh, well, I strive to be informative, entertaining. Perhaps we'll have some laughs along the way. That's comedy, right? And so I put it in comedy. So we're in the top 100 comedy podcasts on iTunes. Thank you to everybody that goes to the iTunes store and downloads and subscribes to The Lefty Show. And to go with that, to go with the iTunes accolades, comes the fact that I was looking at the RSS feed stats. And the show's been doing really well. The RSS feed has been in existence for about a month. Now, every show is up on the RSS feed. Every show, if you go to leftyshow.podbean.com right now, you'll be able to find every single Lefty show there. And the same cannot be said for the YouTube playlist because I'm lazy. I'm sorry. It's bad. It's bad when I just forget, and then the forgetting the one day turns into forgetting for 3 days or 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden I'm a week and a half behind, and at that point I say, fuck it, I'll do it one day. I'll have one day where I absolutely rape my Twitter feed with or rape everybody's Twitter feed. Everybody's, not even mine. My feed isn't raped. Your feeds are collectively raped. I engage in mass gang rape with notifications on adding videos to the playlist, and then I just forget that day too, and then I just, oh, son of a bitch. I should do it now. I should do it right now, either while I'm recording the show or as soon as I wrap up recording the show, but I'm not because I'm an idiot. But if you go to leftyshow.podbean.com right now, you can find every single show. However, the RSS feed, and that's the same cannot be said for iTunes because they only keep the last 20 as a matter of course. I don't think you can even have an entire catalog past 20 episodes available on iTunes. So what I was looking at was, okay, so around the 8th of June last month, I started the Lefty Show RSS feed. And while I uploaded every single show, in one day I uploaded, I think we were up to episode 31 or 32 at the time, and I uploaded the 31 episodes or the 30 episodes in one shot or in one day, and they didn't get a lot of views. So it really is on the strength of the show for the last 30 days have generated more than 80,000 hits from supposedly 30,000 unique users over the last month. And that's been the RSS feed on the strength of, even if it was only 30 shows, it's not because you factor in weekends and I've taken a day off here and there. So figured 25 shows generating 80,000 hits on an RSS feed. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's good, but I think about it in a YouTube perspective. And if I put out 20 videos and I collectively I started a channel, and I just blind started a channel, put out 20 videos, and then in a month's time, I got 80,000 views. That's hits, and views are counted differently now on YouTube. But just in the purely hypothetical sense, I think that's really cool. I don't know if it's really good or if it's average or if it's bad, but it would appear to me that for a brand new RSS feed on the strength of some middling YouTuber, 80,000 hits in a month on an RSS feed and in the top 100 comedy podcasts on iTunes has got to be pretty good. And I thank all of you for helping make that happen. I put on the show, but you come to watch. And the hits and the very, it wasn't a subjective like, oh, somebody didn't listen to this show and think, this Lefty guy is probably better in the top 100 of all comedy podcasts on iTunes. No, they did it because you guys are coming out to the RSS feed. You guys are searching the Lefty Show on the iTunes store and subscribing there. And I want to thank you all for a first great month on the RSS feed. I think it was around this time last month. I'm pretty sure it was. But I want to thank you all for that. You guys are absolutely amazing. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. This was a new venture for me. Getting That's Not Why You Called on iTunes was a big deal. I thought it was pretty cool that I had a podcast on iTunes, but it was never really the focus of the show. And getting into listening to other podcasts and other stuff around the business, and I realized, what if I tried my hand at actually making a go of stuff on the RSS feed? What if I tried to actually do all that stuff? I wonder if I could do it. And I have been able to, and you guys have been great. And I thank you all for helping me out in that venture. I thank you all for helping make the Lefty Show a real thing, both on YouTube and the RSS feed. And in some other news, not the news that we do. We'll do that later in the show. Plenty to talk about. I was looking around. I saw on Twitter. I got up early this morning, went to Twitter, and I saw somebody tweeting about the Destiny, a new game coming from Activision via Bungie, or from Bungie via Activision. And I saw the Bungie beta was announced. And I said, oh, man, maybe this will make it to PC. Maybe, oh, man, this is going to be amazing. So I researched it, and And it turns out that the Destiny is indeed coming to PC, but it's slated for March 2015. There was a leak on some Steam libraries or something. So it's coming. Destiny is coming to PC. It's going to be available on PC, but not until March of 2015, so many people say. And it certainly hasn't been even officially announced. And I got to tell you, I'm really digging this video game. And I've never have I ever bought an Xbox or bought any kind of gaming console because of one game. I've never done it. Gaming console purchase is kind of a big deal. It's a $500 investment when you factor in peripherals, and it could go as high as $600, or it's $500 when you factor in the subscription to access the online component of the console. But then it's more than it can reach $600 when you start talking about peripherals, and as much as $1,000 if you need to buy a TV to go along with it. And well, I don't have to do all those things, but I'm looking at the PS4, and I really like it. It looks sleek. It looks cool. The Destiny beta is going to start later this July, and if I pre-order it, I get access to the beta, and there's a bunch of other titles coming out too, and it's next gen, and I can't tell. I haven't bought anything, so don't freak out. I can't tell if I'm making an honest assessment of what I want and for my business, because the rationale is I say, well, you know, I can let's play this, I can live stream it and have a bunch of fun playing Destiny on the PlayStation 4 when it's out and it's hot. And being in the YouTube business, because I'm still in the gaming content business after a fashion, it's a big deal to play what's hot. It doesn't matter if it just came out. If it's hot, you want to play it. And there's no doubt in my mind that Destiny, especially when the beta drops, and certainly unless they flub the beta completely, when the full game drops, it's going to be hot. And there's a bunch of other things coming out. Uncharted is going to make the jump to the next generation, and the Metal Gear Solid franchise is continuing on the PlayStation 4 and next gen. And those games are going to be hot. And I do plan on making a triumphant return to live streaming here sometime soon. And the rationalization part comes in where I say, well, it's a business expense. Not for tax purposes, I mean, for tax purposes, but I can rationalize and say, well, I'm not just blowing $500 on myself. I'm reinvesting into my business so that I can and blah, 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 and play games and bring people stuff that I literally would not otherwise be able to have available. I can play MLB The Show and stream that if people are into sports games or FIFA. I think soccer games are fun. It's fun. Soccer is one of those sports where it's funner. It's more fun to play the game in a video game format than it is to, say, watch and consume the sport. Baseball is right up there too. Hockey's close, man. It's really fun to watch hockey. Football, probably still more fun to watch football than play Madden because Madden's just bad. It's bad. And, you know, I'm wondering if I'm just trying to justify it to myself and bullshit myself into just spending money so that I can feel good about having something new and shiny, or I'm questioning whether it's a legitimate thing, because we all, again, you can all rationalize, say it time and again, you can rationalize yourself. You can bootstrap yourself into buying anything. You can rationalize, you can follow the logic chain. I'm assuming all of you are of reasonable intelligence. And even then, even if you're not, crazy people convince themselves of doing things too. But you can create a logic chain in your mind and follow it all the way down to, well, I just need to go on an all-expenses-paid trip to Hawaii. I need to do that. I mean, I would be stupid not to. Or you see an advertisement and you say, you know, I could really use one of those. I mean, I don't have it now, and I don't really know if I have a need for it now. But I look at that thing or this service, and I say, you know, I could really, really, really use that right now. I could make use of that. I would make it work. I would add that to my repertoire, or to my life, and make my life better objectively, or make my life easier objectively. Oh my God, I need to buy this Rolex watch. Oh my God, I need to buy this 4K smart TV. I walk into Sam's Club and think, you know, my TV's old. This is a smart TV. I don't need to have a media device, really. I don't have to spend extra money on a Roku or anything like that. And I don't have to have the Amazon Prime, the Amazon Fire TV thing. I got to buy this TV. 4K is the next thing, man. 4K is coming to Netflix. I've already got my Netflix subscription. And if I have a Netflix subscription and they're pumping out 4K and I don't have a 4K TV, well, then I'm basically losing money on that Netflix subscription. So I really, really, really need to buy this TV, essentially. I guess that's just the way it has to be. Okay, let's put this gigantic box into my gigantic cart and go on about my way and buy other gigantic things at Sam's Club or Costco, wherever you go. And did you know, if you're, odds are, if you're going to Sam's Club or Costco and you're looking at TVs and stuff, and you're looking at the bullshit they have thrown up there, usually it's just a movie playing over and over and over again. Most of them aren't even true HD. Most of them are hooked up to component cables, no HDMI or VGA, and that's shit quality. I mean, you've got a 1080p TV or a 4K TV they're trying to show off, and you're hooking up the component cables to it. And it's like, I'm not an audio or video engineer. I'm not a theater engineer, if there are even engineers that do that. But I know that having an analog signal in RGB, what the fuck? No. You need a digital signal to really create that 4K image. What you have now is just bastardized 720. It's not even technically true high definition. You need a digital signal for true high definition. What the fuck? So that's something you can put a feather in your cap the next time you head to one of those big box stores and you see all on television. You look behind them, you say, "Oh, that's a VGA cable, or that's a component cable. You're not getting the full picture quality out of this thing. You're not." And on top of that, they're on all day. They're just on fucking all day, and I don't think those things are designed to do that. So, getting back to the original point, now that I've got a hit podcast on iTunes. Now that I've got a hit, I'm going to say that now. That's going to preface everything I do. Now that I have a hit podcast, I need to buy this PlayStation 4. Now that I have a hit podcast, I need to take this gigantic dump.
Bonerama!
Now that I have this gigantic... never mind. Oh, Freudian slip, I guess, of the first magnitude. So I've been looking at the PlayStation 4, and I like having money, but at the same time, I can rationalize the business expense. And there's equal parts of me that are like, listen, you jackass, you like having the money, just hold on to the money. But then there's the other part of my brain, or another part in my brain, that says, you can make some money off of that. And, of course, there's the entertainment factor, games that you haven't been able to play or won't be able to play for a year or more. You can have that now. And I'm like, I don't know which one to listen to. And oh, my God. And it sucks because we're too intelligent. I'm going to say that. Sometimes we are, you've heard the expression, you're too smart for your own good. That can be true in a literal sense. Our cognitive abilities as just being conscious humans can sometimes be too much because they lead us to do stupid things, right? I mean, I've gotten by in my YouTube and podcasting business without having a PlayStation 4 for the last month. I've done, and it's been fine. I don't need a PlayStation 4. I don't need to do it right now. In reality, I'm eyeing up the Destiny beta and saying, oh, man, I'd really like to be a part of that. I don't even know if it sucks. I've watched gameplay of it. It looks all right. It looks fun. It looks new. But if the price of admission to that is 500 bones and it finds out to suck or blow or I hate it, well, then I'm out 500 bones for something that I'm like, fuck. And I'm out. In reality, that's the reality. But my brain can convince me otherwise. Or at the very least, my brain can present a very convincing argument. There's parts in all of our brains that can present a very convincing argument for stupid shit. No, you should not go to fucking Taco Bell after you leave McDonald's because you realize they just released the Cool Ranch Dorito taco. You're like, oh man, I'd really like one of those. And I really didn't eat that much at McDonald's, I guess. So I gotta go have this. No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have that extra slice of cake. But that cake sure tastes good. Don't you remember the last slice you had? And it was fucking amazing. And you're like, yeah, it was. Brain says, go do that. You should totally go do that. Go do that right now. And you're like, oh, motherfucker, I'm gonna eat the shit out of this cake. It's gonna be amazing. Oh, my goodness. We are too smart for our own good in certain cases. Because we have the ability to completely override our natural functions. Most of them. I can't override my immune system, and I can't think my way into stopping my heart, I don't think. I can do other things to stop my heart, but I can't just think, off. Maybe I can. I don't know. I gotta. Maybe there's some Tibetan monk who says, I have discovered the secret to stopping your own heart. And we can convince ourselves and present cases. Obviously, we ultimately make the choice. However, when you realize, I've had 5 kids out of wedlock, and they're getting really expensive. I probably shouldn't have any more children out of wedlock. Then another floozy shows up. You say, man, that's a mighty fine-looking piece of tail. And what? Rubber? What? Get your rubbers out of here, brain. What is that? Rubbers. Won't feel as good. Why even trying to tackle that piece of tail if I'm just going to reduce the amount of pleasure I'm going to get from it? Why even do that, brain? Get out of here with your logic and stuff, and you're looking out for my best interest and your ability, the subconscious, to take in the meta picture and present that other voice in my head. Shut up. Get the fuck out of here. I'm deciding I'm going to pork this broad. And then, shit, now it's 6 kids out of wedlock. Son of a bitch. You got me again, brain. And we're too smart for our own good. We completely can fuck ourselves without even thinking about it. Without even thinking about it, we can completely fuck ourselves. And fat people or overweight people are one of the very embodiment of that idea that we are too smart for our own good, because our bodies have a way of telling us, stop fucking eating. We're done. We're good. We got sustenance from that. We're totally good. But now our brains say, well, I really like this pasta. It's good. It tastes good. And I'm going to keep eating it. I know I'm full, but oh God, it feels so good. Or, I like this whiskey Coke tastes nice. I'm going to continue drinking it. My brain is trying to tell me to stop, but I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to continue to get shit-faced. And when you seeing fat people, you look at that and you say, gluttony is a sin, moving past all that, but that's just our brain, the ability of our brain, or our consciousness rather, to override what our brain is telling us. And while people do that, speaking of fat people, I was browsing Reddit today, and there was a Today I Learned post about differences in metabolic rate, and how there's no really gigantic differences in metabolic rate for humans. We all exist in some kind of a spectrum, and it's some kind of distribution, some kind of perhaps even normal distribution, and we all exist inside of a certain range. And to think that, your metabolism is so good that you could literally eat anything you want and not gain a pound isn't necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. And in that thread, there was a lot of fat shaming. And I get it was r/fitness, and it's basically porn. It's basically porn, r/fitness. And I was scrolling through, and there was one post that said the fact is, if you're overweight, you've got nobody to blame but yourself. It's calories in, calories out, that whole deal. You're overweight because of choices you made, blah, 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 blah. And while I totally agree, right? Nobody made the fat cow go to McDonald's 5 times a week. Nobody made them and get the Big Mac instead of the salad. They've been serving salads for a while. Nobody made you go get the 2 Big Macs and the 3 large fries. Nobody made you do that. You decided. Your brain, being too smart for your own good, made you go do that, and now you're fat. And now you're obese. It's not a glandular problem or anything like that. You have the metabolism of a normal human, but you've been completely outpacing that metabolism with the 6,000 calories you put inside you a day and the 0 calories you output via exercise. The only thing you have to try to keep pace with your calories in is your metabolism. That's your choice. And while I agree on principle, and certainly in extreme cases where it's like I'm obese, but it's a glandular problem, I say, well, there's probably a few bonbons in there that you could have pushed away and you didn't. And it's time to own up to your actions. Fat shaming, and even then, the whole term, talking about fat shaming, they say, well, fat shaming is this, fat shaming is that, and no fat shaming. Fat shaming is good, fat shaming is bad. I say, wait a minute, we fat shame inherently. The idea of overweight, because again, these well-off, well-to-do motherfuckers, we're off saying, they're overweight. If you're overweight, it's your own problem. And I just sat there and I looked at the term overweight and I thought, over what weight? Over what weight? What weight am I over? What weight is that person over? Well, they're overweight. Oh, yeah. Over what weight? Yours? Well, duh. They're taller than you. Wow. They're over normal. Well, isn't normal just a... if there are only 2 people, normal is the difference between you and her or you and him. You're some skinnier fit bastard and there's some fat bastard. And, quote, normal would be the difference between you two. If only in the world there existed 2 people, you, fit bastard, and that guy, fat bastard. If the only 2 of you existed, the average would be fatter than you. That's the average. And that guy, by the very virtue of there being you and him only existing in this world or only existing to constitute the average, that guy would now be not as overweight. Our entire concept of overweight is based on something that's not tied to anything. It's not tied to anything. It's the average. Oh, you're overweight. Well, I'm over the average. Yeah, so? Wow, it's your fault, your fault, your fault. Why is that? Yeah, I'm overweight. The average could be anything. I have little to no bearing unless we're in a binary weight world, like a binary star system. I have little to no bearing on what the average is. So, okay, I'm overweight. Overweight means over the average or over normal. But normal in itself is just a construct. It's just something that exists between 2 real things. Or it exists as an imaginary line amongst real things. There's no such thing as actual normalcy. There's no such thing as that. Normalcy, being normal, looking normal, all these things, they're all just, it's an amalgamation of all different facets that we see. Being normal looking, well, you're not hot, but you're not ugly. What does normal looking look like? It doesn't look like anything. What does a normal body type look like? Guarantee you it's not fit. Guarantee you it's not. And so to fat shame from the very beginning, I think we need to get rid of the term overweight. Because, oh, you're overweight. It's easy when you're talking about trucks. When you're talking about trucks on the highway, you're overweight. Well, what weight is that? The fucking law. That. It's easy. Overweight. But when you say overweight, we're talking about what we think a human who intakes a, quote, normal diet would look like or weigh. It's all what we think. It's never been hashed out and just, oh, well, blah, 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 and this is a law of nature. No, it's just some idea. It's a figment. It's a construct that we constructed and try to hold people to. I'm for fat accountability. Perhaps not fat shaming. Certainly fat accountability. Well, I want special things because I'm morbidly obese. And I say, well, no. No, you're not. No, you're not getting a special seat on the airplane. Buy two. That's the ultimate meritocracy. That's the ultimate. There's no fat shaming in the airplane business, in commercial airplanes or commercial air travel. No fat shaming. It's just you're fat, you buy two seats. You don't get a special seat. You don't get shamed, you're just held accountable. That's all. It's not, I don't feel I'm not angry with you because you need to buy two seats. I don't care if you buy two seats, but you need to buy two seats if you want to get on this fucking airplane. So buy two seats or don't fly. That's it. There's no, oh, well, you're overweight, or, oh, you're over some normal average construct that we all have, or that we believe we all have, some idea that we try to instill on men and women. Oh. No, it's just, go ahead and you can go right back to the Cinnabon counter in the terminal, sweetheart. Or dude, bro. But you're not getting on this plane unless you buy two seats. And that's all. That's it. And you're held accountable. There's no special seats for morbidly obese people. They're not lobbying for that. Like, oh, there needs to be, you need to widen the seats on commercial airliners so that morbidly obese people only have to buy one seat. The airlines just say buy two or don't fly, and everybody's okay with it. We don't need to fat shame. We don't need to go up to fat people and say, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing to yourself? Oh, my goodness. No, fuck that. Let these adult people make adult choices. I guarantee you the fat guy knows he's fat, and he doesn't want to be fat, but he likes the food. Or he's just too fucking lazy, and he knows that he's too fucking lazy to get off his ass and go to the gym and not eat as much. He's too lazy to do it. I don't think we need to shame fat people. I think we just need to hold fat people accountable for their fat actions and their fat asses. Hold them. Sir, I'm holding you accountable for your fat ass. Oh, shit. Damn it. What we need to do is say, as a society, when you sue McDonald's after you go there for 35 years and you have a massive coronary and you're 800 pounds or 600 pounds, don't sue McDonald's. And a jury should come back not guilty. Fuck you. You made your choice. Be held accountable to it. That's not shaming. That's just being accountable. I'm not shaming you because you're fat. Go be fat. But when something bad happens to you or you're not able to do something because of your fatness, don't expect special treatment because you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. And it's just not going to happen. You have control on some level of your body type and to where you are. It's not completely out of your control. Don't sell me that line. Somewhere along the line, you had a decision to make, and you made the decision. And now you're time to deal with the consequences. I'm not going to shame you for making the decision. Too many times in our society, we shame adults for making decisions. It's the same story about the guy who was into BDSM, the Christian radio host, accused of trying to solicit sex from a 14-year-old boy or a 12-year-old boy or something like that. And then it was news all of a sudden, news right in between the paragraphs about bondage domination, sadomasochism, the BDSM material or tools of the trade, I guess. He's in a trade school. I wonder if there's a trade school for BDSM. Go get training, get a degree, get a certificate. Is there a high school course? Is there like a program, jobs program, BDSM? When that was found, there was nothing illegal found. It was just BDSM stuff. But it was news because the guy had been accused of trying to solicit sex from a minor. And it's like, no, hold on a second. You're shaming people, adults, for making adult choices. You didn't find anything illegal. You're tacitly shaming people who engage in sex that you find, or having sexual proclivities that you find weird. Don't shame them for that. Hold them accountable. Don't shame the guy for trying to fuck a horse. It's just when the guy gets his sternum crushed because the horse kicked him when he was trying to stick his dick in it, or you say, well, what the fuck were you doing? Oh, I don't got no insurance, man. Please, can you take me to the hospital? No, fuck you, man. I'm not paying for that. You need to be held accountable for your actions. And I really don't think that we should be shaming fat people or obese people. No shame. Don't shame them. Shame is a really bad way to go about getting things done. Shame is a really bad thing. It's a bad way to go about it. Just say, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. Did you ever have that card pulled on you when you were growing up? Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. Did it ever really stop you from whatever it is you should be ashamed of? Did you ever get caught with porn or fucking your girlfriend or boyfriend at the time? Your parents said, you should be ashamed of yourself. Did it stop you from looking at porn? Did it really? Did it stop you from trying to bang your girlfriend or boyfriend? Did it really? Similarly, shaming people is probably a poor way to go about affecting change. Because I argue the people that are engaging in bad things know they're doing it. The guy smoking the cigarette, he knows it's bad. She knows it's bad. The guy killing himself with alcohol knows it's not good. He knows it. He's just been making the decision. He made a choice. He weighed the options. He considered. And he made a decision. And he made a choice. He's an adult. We should respect his legal choice. His perfectly legal choice. Okay, well, you want to kill yourself with alcohol. All right. You're going to be accountable for that, though, someday. When something happens because you're killing yourself with alcohol, don't expect special treatment because you're an alcoholic. Don't expect special treatment because your liver isn't functioning anymore. Similarly, I'm not going to shame you for forcing 10,000 calories of food down your throat every day and you're only burning 2,000 or 3,000. I'm not going to shame you for that. But when you're 600 pounds and you want to get on an airplane, you're buying 2 seats. When you're 600 pounds and you want to go to the bathroom, you better wait for the handicap stall. And if there isn't one, well, then you're just fucked. Hold people accountable. Don't shame them. All right, let's do some news, shall we? I like that idea. We got a lot to talk about today in the news portion of The Lefty Show. In Meth, Not Even Once news, a woman has been arrested for murdering infants. Gordon College, a Christian school, pleads for the right to discriminate. The pastor of a church pled guilty to beating a 13-year-old boy. In sexting case, police want to photograph teen in sexually explicit manner. They want to take a picture of his boner for records or something. And in this is from the Telegraph from the UK. Robots will take over middle-class professions, says minister. It's the news of Lefty. Let's talk about all the great things in the news. I got to talk about this sexting thing. Saw this. This is from the Washington Post by Tom Jackman. A Manassas City teenager accused of sexting a video to his girlfriend is now facing a search warrant in which Manassas City police and Prince William County prosecutors want to take a photo of his erect penis, possibly forcing the teen to become erect by taking him to a hospital and giving him an injection, the teen's lawyers said. The Prince William County judge allowed the 17-year-old to leave the area without the warrant being served or the pictures being taken yet. The teen is facing 2 felony charges for possession of child pornography and manufacturing child pornography, which could lead not only to incarceration until he's 21, but inclusion on the state sex offender database for possibly the rest of his life. David Calder of NBC Washington first reported the story and interviewed the teen's guardian, his aunt, who was shocked at the lengths Prince William authorities were willing to go to make a sexting case in juvenile court. Quote, the prosecutor's job is to seek justice, said the teen's defense lawyer, Jessica Harbison Foster. What is just about this? How does this advance the interests of the Commonwealth? This is a 17-year-old who goes to school every day, plays football, has never been in trouble with the law before. Now he's saddled with 2 felonies and the implication that he's a sexual predator. I don't mind trying the case. My goal is to stop the search warrant. I don't want him to go through that. Taking him down to the hospital so he can get an erection in front of all those cops, that's traumatizing. Manassas City Police spokeswoman Adrian Helms said that the department would not comment, and Detective David E. Abbott, the lead investigator on the case, did not return a call seeking comment. And no one except a Prince William magistrate has seen the affidavit and search warrant for the photos. They aren't made public until after they are served and then returned to the courthouse. The Post is not naming the teen defendant. Foster said the case began when the teen's 15-year-old girlfriend sent photos of herself to the 17-year-old, who in turn sent her the video in question. The girl has not been charged, and her mother filed a complaint about the boy's video, Foster said. The male teen was served with petitions from juvenile court in early February and not arrested, but when the case went to trial in juvenile court in June, Foster said prosecutors forgot to certify that the teen was a juvenile. The case was dismissed, but police immediately obtained new charges and also a search warrant for his home. Police also arrested the teen and took him to juvenile jail, where Foster said they took photos of the teen's genitals against his will. The case was set for trial on July 1, but Foster said Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Claiborne Richardson told her that her client must either plead guilty or police would obtain another search warrant, quote, for pictures of his erect penis, end quote, for comparison to the evidence from the teen's cell phone. Foster asked how that would be accomplished and was told that, quote, we just take him down to the hospital, give him a shot, and then take the pictures that we need, end quote. God fucking bless America. God bless America. I love it. God bless America. God bless our society, because in our society, a 15-year-old girl can send pictures to her 17-year-old boyfriend, sexually explicit pictures, but then only when the 17-year-old boy responds to the instigation of the sexually explicit photos and media does the boy get arrested and charged with 2 felonies. The girl is not being charged with creating child porn or having child porn. Not charged. The boy, 2 felony counts. And also, there are police. There are prosecutors. There are people who are assigned to protect you, to uphold the law, and to seek out justice. There are people who would honestly, in this country, people of power, police, detectives, state prosecutors, who honestly have no quarrels with even thinking to attempt to obtain a search warrant so that they could take a 17-year-old boy down to the hospital, give him an injection, and take pictures of his erect penis. And that's just, yeah, we're doing that. What's the problem? What is the problem with us doing that? Oh, man. Well, yeah, of course we're going to do that. I don't see the issue here. So, in order to combat child pornography charges, in order to combat a 17-year-old taking a moving picture file, taking video of his penis, and allegedly illegally sending it to his 15... Why is that... By the way, why the fuck is that illegal? He's 17, she's 15? I thought 18 was the age past which you have to... There's got to be special circumstances under which you can legally engage in any kind of romantic or sexual relationship with anybody under the age of 18. I thought it was 18. It's 17 now? And we're just like, yeah, it's 17, 15. Yeah, they're both in high school, and they're probably, that's the number. We don't know even how far they are separated. They're both in high school. They might be separated by a year. She's a freshman or sophomore. He's a sophomore or junior. Or even if he's a junior and she's a freshman, or a senior and she's a freshman. What the fuck? That's illegal now? And no, not only illegal, a felony. Felony. 2 of them for that. And what? Huh? Can we move past this archaic idea that people aren't sexually active until they're 18 years old? Kids are going to fuck. And in the days of everybody having a cell phone, and every cell phone being a mobile video studio, teens and young adults that are just experiencing sexuality, that are just experiencing themselves and are experimenting, are going to take pictures and videos of their genitals and send it to other kids. That's going to happen. We're going to arrest every single one of them? Are we going to arrest every single one of them? There's probably a lot of child pornographers out there. Most of them under the age of 18. I guarantee you that the number of under 18 under 18 child pornographers severely, probably, I would argue by an order of magnitude, outweighs the number of above 18 child pornographers. The number of people over the age of 18 who manufacture, possess, and distribute child pornography is outweighed or overshadowed by probably an order of magnitude by the number of under 18 child pornographers. Because they just happen to be under 18. Kids are going to fuck, and they're going to take pictures of them fucking, or movies of them fucking, or movies of their genitals and say, I want to fuck you with this, or I want you to fuck me in this. And that's just going to happen. It's not dangerous. They're not trying to hurt these people. They're just exploring their sexuality. And until you say absolutely that nobody under the age of 18 can have sex with anyone under any circumstances, which we have not done, kids are going to fuck and they're going to do this. Are we really prepared to start charging all these kids as pornographers? And if the answer is no, then my question is, why this one? Why this guy? Why? Why him? Why him and not the girl? Specifically. But, justice. But they think it's okay to fight child pornography, to create child pornography. Take him to a hospital, give him an injection, get his cock hard, and then take a picture of it. And say, oh, man, who do you book? Who's the photographer there? I want to know who the photographer they're going to book. They say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come down. You're going to come down to the county hospital, and we're going to put you in this room. Oh, we'll put up shrouding, of course, but we want you to bring your Nikon 700D or whatever it is, and we want you to just start clicking away when this 17-year-old, when this child's cock gets hard. Start clicking away. That's not child pornography then? Is it not? Oh, it's okay because it has a search warrant. Oh. And a judge is even considering this. That's one of the worst part. A fucking judge, is honestly going, I wonder if this is a good idea. To explicitly allow, because this is not the semantic argument or the pettifogging argument of, well, in order for police to distribute child pornography in a sting operation, they must also be in possession of child pornography, must they not? Which I believe actually does have some merit, but that's no. This is a completely separate thing from that. This is the creation of abject child pornography. That's what that is. The answer to prosecuting a child pornography case, which is bullshit, by the way, the answer to prosecuting a bullshit child pornography case is to create child pornography. To create it. And there are people that say, yeah, that's what we do. That's what we're doing. Yeah. I'm a detective. I'm a hero. I'm a hero police officer, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm a hero state's attorney. My job is seeing justice done. I wrap myself in the warm, billowing feeling of justice, and I say, I'm fighting for justice by getting this kid's cock hard and taking pictures of it. I'm a judge, and my job is doling out justice, and I'm going to do that by ordering the police and ordering this child to let the police take him to a hospital and get his dick hard so they can take pictures of it. So I can put him in motherfucking jail and on sex offenders list for the rest of his life for sexting his 15-year-old girlfriend. What in the fuck? And surrounding all of that, she sent the pictures first. She sent pictures of herself first, and she received a video in response, and she's not charged with a goddamn thing. We're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked. Our society is fucked. We have allowed the emotional appeals. We have allowed the bullshit. We have allowed the semanticizing. We have allowed the sensationalism to go way too far. We are fucked. We are absolutely well and truly fucked as a society. We're done. This is just it. No more law and order. No more justice. No more idea of rule of law or individual liberties or not testifying against yourself or Fourth Amendment, freedom from unreasonable search and seizure or unreasonable warrants. No such thing anymore. No such thing. No such thing as equal protection under the law. Get that shit out of here. If you're a woman or a minority, you've got more protection than I do as a white male. You do. And we're so well and truly fucked. It's sad because this is a good idea. This whole thing we got going on here. This thing called America, this idea of a democratic republic and, founded in and underpinned by individual liberties and accountability of government was a pretty cool idea. We've just fucked it. We've just gone and just taken a big old 17-year-old dick and fucked it right in the asshole. And even more, our society is fucked news. I don't mean for the show to be such a downer today. Hopefully you can get some comedy bits from this. Meth, not even once, kids. Not even once. Because, this is from USA Today, a Utah mother killed 6 of her newborns because she was addicted to methamphetamine and couldn't cope with caring for the children, police said Tuesday. It's the first time that authorities have cited a motive in the case of 39-year-old Megan Huntsman, who was arrested in April and charged with 6 counts of premeditated murder. She is accused of strangling and suffocating the infants between 1996 and 2006, 10 years, and hiding their bodies in the garage of her Pleasant Grove home south of Salt Lake City. Authorities believe a 7th infant they found was stillborn. It was completely selfish. She was high on drugs and didn't want the babies or the responsibility, Pleasant Grove Police Captain Mike Roberts told the Associated Press. That was her priority at the time. Her public defender told AP he could not discuss the case. Well, when your public defender's got nothing to say, when your public defender is no comment, we can't discuss an ongoing case, you're just fucked. Roberts also announced Tuesday that DNA testing showed that all of the full-term babies, 5 girls and 2 boys, were fathered by Huntsman's estranged husband, Darren West, who was released from federal prison in January after serving 8 years for having meth-making chemicals. He alerted police after finding a white box sealed with electrical tape that contained a baby wrapped in plastic bags and a green towel. He is not a suspect. Huntsman, who is being held on $6 million cash-only bail, has not entered a plea. She has her July 21 court date in Provo. Police say she has admitting killing 6 newborns. She initially told investigators she could not recall how many there were, an estimated 8 or 9, but police believe there were only 7. Now, I talk sometimes about fucked up shit, fucked up world news I find from the Middle East or the south of Asia and all that kind of stuff. I've never once read a story like that, like this one, coming from that. I make funny bits, or try to make comedic bits. Let go of my comedy bits. I try to make comedy bits about, backwards culture and try to test and try to be entertaining and funny and test your preconceived notions on what is acceptable culture and the whole idea of, coexist. Oh, really? Coexist? Coexist with that? And it's all hypothetical. I don't really hate people from India or Pakistan or Iran. I don't really do that, and I don't really dislike them, and I don't really think that they are all evil people. It's just challenging you and trying to make you think while maybe having a yuck or two. Never read a story like this coming out of there. Read about rapes, read about gang rapes, chopping off clitoris, read about all that. Never, I'm addicted to methamphetamine, and over the course of a decade, I murdered 7 infants, or 6, and I had a stillborn child because I'm on meth and I don't want to have the kids. I've never read that story. Never seen that from Reuters, Dateline, Somalia, or anything like that. This was just a yokel, rural woman, probably God-fearing woman, cracked out to shit on methamphetamine, killing her babies. Now, my question is, here's my question. I've got a few, of course, because it's not just enough to talk about the meth-filled woman murdering her infants, although I could probably get some use out of that. This is the third paragraph from the top. Roberts also announced Tuesday that DNA testing showed that all of the full-term babies, 5 girls and 2 boys, okay, so 7, were fathered by Huntsman's estranged husband, Darren West, who was released from federal prison in January after serving 8 years for having meth-making chemicals, okay? So now the time frame here is 1996 to 2006. Oh, never mind. It just worked out in my head. I had confabulated the end date, the supposed end date of the dead fetuses as 2014, and I was like, wait a minute. They must have been having conjugal visits in the federal pen if this is to work out. She's had 7 kids in this time span. But actually, it works out that from 1996 to 2006, they were living high on the hog, smoking meth and fucking and creating kids, and, well, she would kill him. And then he went off to do a bid. He went off to do an 8-year bid for having meth-making materials, and the child killing stopped. Probably because the meth stopped. And, wow. That's, I honestly did think for a while that the meth not even once trope, that idea in popular culture, that meth not even once, and look at how fucked up all these people are just from smoking meth for a couple weeks or a couple months, and just one time I got really high. I thought it was all just rampant sensationalism, like, you know, the stuff that came out in the 50s about marijuana and how crazy it would make you, the hashish or dope craze or something like that. And I thought it was in the same vein. I thought, well, I mean, meth is certainly more hardcore than marijuana, but you're not running around, I don't know, killing infants when you're smoking meth. No, apparently you do. And apparently when your husband goes away to do an 8-year bid for having meth-making materials and you probably stop making meth, you sober up and you don't kill any more infants. Shit. That's some crazy shit. Now, I have an issue here because the father of all the newborns, Darren West, they refer to him as her estranged husband. Estranged. And I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't do that. I'm not I don't help people, and I don't certainly know a lot about marriage, but it would appear to me that if you father 7 children with some broad, you're not estranged anything. You're not estranged. You are very, very familiar with one another. You may not be married, but you are certainly not estranged. You can get divorced or you can be separated, but if you're going around for 10 years fucking enough to create 7 children, which she subsequently murdered, you're not estranged. I'm not calling you estranged. You're not estranged. You don't get the cover, the shield of, well, I'm just estranged from that. Why do you think I got the fuck out of there? Because apparently bitch is crazy, right? I don't want any part of that. I didn't want any part of that. So I am her estranged husband. Don't want nothing to do with that bitch is crazy, right? No, you're not, because you went and fucked that for a decade to produce 7 kids. You don't get to claim that you are estranged. You don't get to say, well, I'm just estranged. I got nothing to, I don't have any part or say in all the stuff. I got nothing. Oh, it's not me. It's not my fault. Woe is me. Oh yeah, I'm surprised too. Oh my goodness. Who would have known that she's so crazy? No, you stuck your dick in crazy multiple times. You do not get to claim that you're estranged. You're just not estranged because you fucking a lot. All right, as we wrap up the show here, this is from the Telegraph in our jolly old UK, the British Isles, residing there in the British Isles. Robots will take over middle-class professions, says ministers. Accountants, teachers, and other middle-class professionals will see their jobs increasingly be taken over by robots, the university's minister has said. David Willits, the university minister, suggests high-level professions are more likely to be taken over by computers than those that involve apparently simple tasks such as making a cup of tea. Accountants, teachers, and other middle-class professionals will see their jobs increasingly be taken over by robots, the university's minister has said. David Willits said that professionals which require, quote, quite high-level cognitive skills are more likely to be replaced by robots than ones that involve manual tasks, such as making a cup of tea for an old lady. The rise of robots would lead to dramatic changes in the pattern of work, he said, although not to a reduction in the number of jobs as a whole. I'm not sure about that. He said that it was a paradox that IT advances mean that professions that are seen as really rather sophisticated are actually easier to replicate with a computer program. More instinctive manual tasks are much more challenging to replicate. Speaking at an event at the think tank Policy Exchange entitled The Rise of the Robots, Mr. Willett said, "You kind of intuitively think that beating a grandmaster at chess must be a harder challenge. But in this world, giving a cup of tea to a little old lady is a bigger IT robotics challenge than doing chess." So, quite a lot of stuff that we think is really rather sophisticated cognitive work is also routine and can be replaced by systems. This is a really interesting point because originally the rallying cry for free marketers and efficiency is that, well, you know, McDonald's workers, your jobs could be done by a robot. But here's a guy who said, well, also your little professional job there, yeah, it can also be done by a robot. And I want to go on record. I would like a medal, please, because I was the one saying originally when the story came out that there was an AP, or at least for the LA Times, there was a news article published completely via algorithm about, believe, a 4.5 on the Richter scale earthquake. I was the one that said, I believe it was on this show, I came on and I said, well, a lot of people like to say lower class jobs are going to disappear because all of the automation, all of the stuff, and you want $15 an hour? I've got a computer. Well, guess what, white liberal professional white conservative professional motherfuckers? Your jobs can be done by computers too. And now here's a guy who actually has the credentials, actually has the parchment, who agrees with me as well. So suck on it, free marketeers. Let's bring it home. Woo! Another great edition of The Lefty Show. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody that has helped make this show one of the top 100 comedy podcasts on iTunes. You can go to the iTunes store, search The Lefty Show, or listen and share the show via the RSS feed. Go to leftyshow.podbean.com. If you're on Android, go to your favorite podcasting app and search The Lefty Show. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also find gaming content and vlogs there. YouTube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody for following me on Twitter at Lefty643. Just go to Lefty643 on Twitter or Twitter.com/Lefty643. Keep up to date on all the latest and greatest news and my musings. You want to get a hold of me at Lefty643 is a great place to do it. Thank you, everybody, for donating. I'mRacing.com/643 Productions. That's my time. I got to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.
Cut that bitch off!